Okay, guys, see this? See this? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Oh my god. Welcome back to Lady Cocoboos, everyone. I'm so sorry that I did not post yesterday. Um, there was a lot of things happening, and I thought I'll take some time to, really think about this video rather than, just post for the sake of it. So, if you have been waiting since yesterday for the video, thank you so much. And let's get into it. Monsoon has officially arrived in Kerala, and I have been, running around, trying to optimize my wellness routine and then to also deal with the cold, the cough, and all those seasonal flus that are here when monsoon is here. So I have been trying to optimize it for some time, and it was a struggle. I'm telling you, I had to also move a little bit. So, well, but here I am. We are going to talk about a whole monsoon wellness and hygiene checklist that you should keep in mind if you are also, trying to figure out how I can change my routines based on monsoon, or if you're also part of the whole South Asia region, you can use this routine because I think it's almost the same for most of the tropical places out there where it rains so much during this time. A lot of you might ask, like, why do you want to optimize the routine in monsoon or when the season changes? So when the seasons change, especially, you should optimize it according to where you live. It's going to make a huge difference on how you approach wellness in general. So here, the monsoon is characterized by hot, humid climate. It's raining all day. It's literally wet everywhere, and it's rarely, there are a stretch of days when you get, even sunlight. So it's a breeding ground for microorganisms, for yeast, for mold. And if you don't take care of your wellness products and your own personal hygiene accordingly, it's going to make a very huge impact on your wellness in detail. As you all know, I am not going to give you um list of products that you should use or anything. I'm going to give you tips from my own experience. Use your discretion and optimize your own skincare products, things, routines that you do accordingly. Okay. So let's talk about skincare. So once the monsoon started, so it's already been, I think, 2 weeks since monsoon started. Once monsoon started, the one thing that I noticed was that I couldn't, keep up with my oiling routine as I normally would do. And my skin was, more oily than usual. I have a very normal skin, and it's also not that sensitive, but I noticed that I had more pimples than usual. And um I don't know, was it my diet or was it my products that I use? I couldn't figure it out. But then I clearly noticed that I was, slathering products like how I used to do it in summer. I would clean my face and then I would slather on moisturizer, sunscreen, essence, and you name it. So if you have been in my channel for some time, you know how I am a huge fan of turmeric oil. And oiling, you have to tone it down. If you are someone who use face oils on your skin on an everyday basis, I would recommend you should, at least tone it down to an alternative basis so that it won't, clog your pores. And secondly, cleanse really well. I wouldn't recommend to use a very hard cleanser like that is very soapy, but use something that is sulfate free but that can give you a good amount of cleansing, and use that in your AM and PM routine regularly to undo the clogging of your pores if that's happening. And the third thing that you want to concentrate especially during monsoon, is also to exfoliate at least once a week. I think that is something that we have to keep up with regardless of which season or which place you are. I think with the kind of products that we are using, it is very normal to have clogged pores and dead skin cells accumulate on your skin. So exfoliate at least twice a week. So I'll just quickly tell you what we talked about skincare. First thing is that you should tone down your face oils. Okay, if you have normal skin like mine, if you have extremely dry skin, you can still do it as how you prefer. And second thing is that use a very good cleanser. And thirdly, exfoliate properly so that you don't clog pores or accumulate dead skin cells on your skin. So now let's talk about hair care. As you can see, it's quite windy here, and I love how my hair feels right now, but I did not like it how it felt maybe 3 days ago. So, one of the main reason was that I found out that I was having dandruff, and I don't usually have dandruff. Okay. So, I was like, why did dandruff? I mean, I clean my scalp properly, I exfoliate properly. I don't understand why dandruff would even come in my hair. One of the main reasons I found out was that it is when it's hot, when it's humid, and also when you are a person who is like actively moving about. It is very natural for dandruff to accumulate during this time of the year. And I think that is something that I learned the hard way. And I try to use my sulfate free product shampoo that I use. And honestly, it was not giving me the result that I wanted. I also noticed how the dandruff was, triggering allergies. I had kind of like small pimples coming on my forehead and also around my cheek area. ठीक है जहाँ पे usually how I slept. So I noticed a lot of pimples in this area. And I thought it was just pimples because of my oiling routine. But what I understood was that it was not just pimples, okay? It was due to dandruff. And I also had a lot of allergies that were getting triggered. And what I did was that I cleansed my hair with um, sulfate wala shampoo. I used Heads and Shoulders. I actually found it out from some creators who were, recommending it, how effective it was for dandruff. And I'll tell you, I also used it on my face because the allergies were, driving the F out of me. And well, honestly speaking, my pimples reduced a lot, and the itching of my scalp almost disappeared the first time that I used it. And there was like some of which that occasionally came back, but then I am actually using it in my routine. So that was one lesson that I learned. When it is the ideal atmosphere for microorganisms to grow, it is good to have some products that can actually that is not completely natural, as you say, but it is effective. So it is, I know it can be quite a hot take on a channel that talks about organic wellness and doing things naturally, but I'll tell you, I am living in a place where it rains all the time, and it's like the nature is literally overpowering us around that time. So you can see grasses grow up to your waist height in just maybe 2 3 days of constant rain. So that is the kind of atmosphere that is we are living in. So a good way to balance your hygiene and your wellness around that time is also to balance out the synthetic products and also the natural products that we can use. If you guys have any natural alternatives that I can use for that dandruff, which is also very convenient to use, Please tell me in the comments so that I can check it out, because right now the Heads and Shoulders was the only convenient and easy option that was readily available to me when I was faced with something like this. So another thing about itchy scalp is that you tend to use your fingernails, and it can actually trigger hair fall if you irritate your scalp too much. And I did not want to have hair fall. All right, that was a cat. Yeah, so I did not want to trigger hair fall unnecessarily. So that was one thing. And well, about my oiling routine, I am keeping up with the oiling routine, but I've also added a separate oiling routine of just plain coconut oil before I shampoo with my with Heads and Shoulders. That's specifically my dandruff routine, because coconut oil is very antifungal, and it has a lot of antifungal properties. You can check it out. So it gives that extra boost to take care of itchy scalp. So that is helping me out. So you guys can also try it out if you want. Well, that's mostly it. You should be mindful of, if you have long hair like me, or I mean, it's like medium length. But if you have long hair like me, you should be extra careful about drying your hair and not leaving it damp at all. And you don't go to sleep with damp hair. Of course, it's going to give you cold the next morning, but it can also trigger hair fall, and it can irritate and really test the strength of your strands. And please don't do that. So that was mainly about what I'm doing with my hair. But well, I'm keeping up with my hair care routine. I do oiling maybe thrice a week, and I am actually balancing out how I use my shampoo. I'm using my sulfate free shampoo twice, and I'm using my Heads and Shoulders shampoo once. So that was basically about hair care, guys. Now let's quickly go to personal hygiene. All right, guys. Now let's talk about personal hygiene. Okay. So one thing that I want to tell you guys when I talk about personal hygiene is that be careful of yeast and fungal growth, especially around this time, and especially if you are here in India during monsoon, like me. So take care of yeast and fungal infections, and I'll tell you why. Okay, it is very hot. It's humid. I think, already established that it is a chamber for microorganisms to grow, and yeast infections are very common. Skin infections during this time, and if a small, hair follicle is irritated, or if you slightly come into contact with yeast infected surfaces, that can grow into a huge infection, and you would not know where it came from. Okay, so be really mindful about these things that I'm going to tell you. So one thing is that uh, it is very easy to dry your clothes in bulk in your home, especially when there is very poor sunlight outside, and you are not having huge stretches of sunlight, or days when it's sunny and it's almost all the time it's raining. But it is a place where you can find yeast growing. Don't clump your clothes around a particular area, and don't use damp towels. So you can, like, if you have towels that are like half dry, and you have like used it once, and you're not like drying it properly before using it on your face or using it on your hair body, it can trigger yeast infections. Okay, so really disinfect the towels that are using, the pillow covers that you're using, bed sheets that you are using, and be really mindful of that. And when you get the time, please, 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 please air your clothes well, and air your home really well, and dry your clothes in the sunlight. Even if you feel that it's dry, make sure that you give it some sunlight so that it is like naturally disinfected. So that is something that you should be really careful about. On that thought, let's also talk about the general home care that you should do in the monsoon. So one thing that I would recommend is that do a deep clean before monsoon arrives at your home. But if you have not done it, you don't have to worry. Matlab, air your house as much as it is possible for you, and give it the sunlight and fresh air that it needs. I mean, it's very common to, close your windows, close your doors because it is raining all the time. But like, if you get some sunlight, be sure to open your windows, give it some air so that it can naturally cleanse itself. Okay, and use disinfectants like Dettol, etc., while you're cleaning your house, and deep cleaning at least once a week. All right. So that is something that I really wanted to highlight. I don't prefer to, dry the clothes inside the home, but I know that people have situations when they have to do it. So if you do it, like, dry it properly under a fan, and make sure that you don't put any damp, you don't encourage any damp corners in your house, so that you are encouraging yeast and mold growth. Okay. One last thing that I want to talk about is that do be really careful about allergies. So I have someone who has dust allergy, and it can drive me so crazy. I mean, yeah. And one of the main reasons was that I used to, like, almost disregard my dust cleaning thing during monsoon, because I think, like, monsoon air, it's I mean, how can I mean, all the dust is normally settled, but no, dust is still there at your home, and you need to take proper time to clean it out, baby, because dust mites is something that lives inside the dust, accumulating in your home, in your curtains, in under your bed. Dust mites triggers allergies, and dust mites can also grow when there is, like, dead skin cells on the bed sheets under, it's like accumulated in some area, and dust mites is what causes allergy. So be mindful of that. So vacuum your home. Vacuuming helps a lot. I mean, I bought a vacuum cleaner the first thing that I came here, when I knew that dust allergy meant that dust mites are in a home. I did not know that there were dust mites. I mean, it was dust mites that caused allergy. But yeah, I'm rambling. But well, you get the point, right? Air your home, give it the space, give it. Don't leave any damp corners. Disinfect properly, and also be really mindful about dust mites. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Please try not to use common towels or stuff like that. I mean, I don't really recommend it, but then I understand that you're living in your home and it is very natural for people to share stuff like that. But it's good that if you don't use it. Okay. All right, guys. So that is basically what I wanted to tell you guys before it is officially monsoon. I mean, we are just starting, and I want to be helpful for you guys. So I am telling you all of this from my own experience. Okay. So be really careful. And some of the general things that I wanted to tell you guys is that eat cooked food. Okay. Don't, like, eat outside a lot. And because you can't be really guaranteed about the hygiene you can get around this time. I mean, it's natural. So be careful about that, and wash your hands properly, uh, dry your clothes properly, and disinfect properly. Use Dettol wherever you can. All right. Oh man. Okay. So yeah, that's basically it. And keep your home really warm. If you have, like, chula, yeah, adupu at your own home, I mean, inside your home, use it because it keeps the house warm. And you can, sometimes smoke bay leaves or dried tulsi leaves, or palo santo, or you can get these ayurvedic smoking herbs from ayurvedic shops, or online as well, and you can use it on inside. I mean, just smoke it. Okay, I mean, it will be really helpful. It helps with the energy cleansing, but it can also, keep out a lot of vectors like mites, mosquitoes, and a lot of things. And be really careful about the plastic that you're throwing outside, and generally keeping the surroundings clean before it gets worse. So that was my checklist for taking care of yourself and preparing yourself for the monsoon that is coming. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll come back with the next video next week. If you like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe to Lady Coco Boost. It's all about building the community these days than to grow your subscriber list. So I want you to engage with my videos. So until then, take care, have fun. I love you. Bye bye.